Hello, welcome back to my second channel. Welcome back to Jack in the Books. Here's the thing, this month is disappearing from me. Like, I swear it was the 1st of May, 2 days ago, and all of a sudden, we're halfway through the month. So this is a little bit of a late May TBR, but I wanted to go through some books that I want to read in the next month. So this will be like books I want to read for the rest of May and the first half of June, you know? Because I'm trying not to buy too many new books, and so I thought I would just go through this kind of stash that I have in my bedroom and pick out some books that I would like to read in the next 30 days. So let's talk about it. Okay, well, first and foremost, where is it? Okay, I thought I knew where it was. I thought it was right here. Okay, I found it. This book. This is Meta 210 by Hwang Sok Yong, translated from Korean by Sora Kim Russell and Youngjae Josephine Bae. This is the final book that I need to read that is on the International Booker Prize shortlist. I'm hosting the International Booker Prize official live stream on May 21st, and this is one of the books that is on the shortlist. I've read the other 5. I've been saving this one for my plane journey back to the UK and during rehearsals and stuff, so this will be my final read for that. So I will be ready in time for the official live stream, and I'm very excited about this one. It's set in contemporary Seoul. It's about a laid-off worker who stages a month-long sit-in atop a 16-story factory chimney. During the long and lonely nights, he talks to his ancestors, chewing on the meaning of life, on wisdom passed down the generations. So that is Meta 210. A bit more of a leisure read is this one. By the way, this is not an efficient way of storing books, but I'm making it work. Mostly because I just can't be bothered to install proper shelves in this room, and I have this natural kind of shelf like built into the wall. Like, do you see? It's like, maybe here is an easier place to see it, but like it's this far separated from the actual wall, so it's this really lovely long shelf. I store some little books and a candle, my YouTube million subscribers plaque. This is still so crazy. Every time I look at this I think, what the hell? These 2 cute little vases, and then my matches for my candles, and then loads and loads of books, and then there's some art over there. But anyway, I think it looks cool. Back to what I was saying. This is more of a leisure read. Like, I really just want to use this for pure escapism, to get caught up in the lives of people far cooler than me. This is Walking Through Clear Water in a Pool Painted Black by Cookie Mella. Having the name Cookie Mella tells me everything I need to know. She's giving it girl, she's giving socialite, and I want to live vicariously through her, through this book. So this book brings together the writings of the legendary Cookie Mella, chronicling her high-risk, high-reward life in glorious technicolor. From becoming a part of John Waters' legendary acting troupe, to becoming a mother, from the hedonism of 1980s New York, to critiquing the dire response to the AIDS epidemic, Mella's voice is fresh, wise, freewheeling, and unafraid of darkness. And this was the first time it was published in the UK, this collection. So I'm very intrigued by this. I feel like she could be a new, like, Joan Didion, Eve Babbitt's kind of writer for me. And I really like their work, so I really want to read this book. And I think because I've got quite a lot of, like, busyness happening in the next month, it will be nice to read a book that is just for the pure joy of it, just to escape into someone else's head. And like I say, live a bit vicariously through them. Here's my Eve Babbitt, Sex and Rage. I love that book. What else do we want to read? Oh, I'm intrigued by this one. This is my friend Hazel Hayes with her new book, Better by Far. Following a breakup, Kate and Finn agree on an unusual arrangement. With 12 weeks left on their lease, the two will share the house they dreamt of living in together, apart, alternating week by week so that they are occupying the same space, but never at the same time. Isn't that a genius concept for a book? Hazel Hayes, you've done it again. And now that cover makes total sense. That's so cool. So she previously wrote a book called Out of Love. I've yet to read her writing, but she's just a wonderful person, and I loved her YouTube videos, and the way that she would present her ideas was always so inspiring and fascinating to me. So I think that reading her fiction is going to be just as good. Ah, that's so cool. Congrats, Hazel. Now what else? What else do we want to read in the next month? Oh, this one, for sure. This is Pyre. I bought this when I was in Singapore for the Singapore Writers' Festival. It's by Parimal Murugan, and it's described as beautifully done by The Guardian. It was longlisted for the International Booker Prize last year in 2023. It's about 2 people young, in love and in danger. They meet in a small southern Indian town and quickly marry before returning to one of their family villages, but they are harbouring a secret they belong to different castes. Okay, so I think it's about the Indian caste system, which I read a lot about at university. Faced with venom from her mother-in-law and pointed questions from her neighbours, Saroja struggles to adjust to a lonely and uncomfortable life. As vicious whispers begin to encircle the couple, will their love be enough to keep them safe? And is translated by Anirudhan Vasudevan. Sign me up. I bought this back in November, it's time to read it. But before I continue, I just wanted to let you know that today's video is very, very kindly brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform for building a website or an online brand, and the best news is you don't need coding experience, you don't need to be an expert web developer to use Squarespace. You can just use one of their templates, which you can customize and make completely your own. And now Squarespace has this incredible AI SEO, so basically you can make sure that your website is appearing when people search key buzzwords that link to your website or your business. They also have really useful payment options for your customers. You can create a blog, you can create an email sign-up list. Squarespace truly, truly has everything you could possibly need to help your business thrive. So if all of this sounds good to you, you can actually head to squarespace.com right now for a free trial, and then use the code JackInTheBooks at squarespace.com/JackInTheBooks to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you so much to Squarespace for working with me and for sponsoring this series of my monthly TBR. And now, the next book. I also bought this one in Singapore. It's called Apple and Knife. It's by intern Paramedita. It's described as dark, subversive. Here are fairy tales and myths reworked with a feminist bent by Tatler. Inspired by horror fiction, myths, and fairy tales, Apple and Knife is an unsettling ride that swerves into the supernatural to explore the dangers and power of occupying a female body in today's world. These stories set in the Indonesian everyday, in corporate boardrooms, in shanty towns, on dangdut stages, reveal a soupy otherworld stewing just beneath the surface. This is subversive feminist horror at its best, where men and women alike are arbiters of fear, and where revenge is sometimes sweetest when delivered from the grave. Dark, humorous, and vividly realised, Apple and Knife brings together taboos, inversions, sex, and death in a heady, intoxicating mix. Wow, that sounds so great. I think that it's kind of giving me the vibes of Mariana Enriquez, who I absolutely love, who again writes kind of feminist horror fiction. So sign me up, Apple and Knife. And then a book that I was given just last night by my friend Dustin. He wrote this book when Haru was here. This is my advanced copy. I'm so excited to read this one. I feel so proud. It's like a proud friend moment. And in the back, he gave it to me because I am in the acknowledgements, which is so cool. Right there. Isn't that sweet? So this is one of my prized possessions now. Like, if my house was burning down, I would save this book. So We Are Okay meets WandaVision in this novel about loss and learning to let go. After the death of his friend, Eric creates imaginary scenarios in his head to deal with his grief, until one of them becomes real when a boy he met last summer in Japan finds his way back into his life. When he least expects it, Haru walks into the coffee shop and sits down next to him. The only thing is, nobody else can see him. Dustin does this really great mix of, I guess, like magical realism, whereby there are fantastical elements, but it is still rooted in the real world. And that's my favorite kind of fantasy writing. The cover is also absolutely gorgeous. So this is a very, very proud friend moment, but I cannot wait to read that book. And so that is my kind of May, June TBR. Let me gather these up to show you. I feel like that feels doable, right? That feels like something I can try to achieve. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been not reading that much recently. Like, this is kind of crazy for me, but I have not been reading so much. So I'm hoping that these books are gonna get me back into the flow, end my kind of reading slump. It's not necessarily a slump, I'm just reading at a much slower pace than I normally would. I'm finding life a little overwhelming right now. But hopefully things will start to calm down a little bit by the end of May, and these books are gonna see me through it. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you found a book that you would love to read as well. Let me know what's on your May TBR, and until next time, thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.